All right, everyone, I'm really excited today to be joined by the one and only Damson Idris. You know him from Snowfall. You also know him from Black Mirror. If you're watching this interview, just a heads up, we are going to be talking spoilers, so come back after you watch the film. Damson, how you doing today, man?
I'm great, man. I'm incredibly excited for Friday. We're going out to 195 million subscribers on Netflix. That's insane. One of the biggest openings I've ever experienced. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, so this film you're in, Outside the Wire for Netflix, you play Lieutenant Harp. And what I found fascinating about your character is the character transformation that happens where literally in the opening scene, you send this drone to save 38 to kill 2. And then at the end, you do the complete opposite from a similar but more heightened experience. Can you kind of just go into that a little bit and explain like what you think the transformation was for the character of Lieutenant Harp?
When we first meet Harp, he's this hotshot drone pilot who chooses to do what he thinks instinctively is the right thing rather than following orders. Because of his background and his intelligence with being a drone pilot, his brilliance with being a drone pilot, instead of being court-martialed, they decide to teach him a lesson, if you will, and send him on the front lines, where he meets Captain Leo and they're tasked with locating a deadly doomsday device in a militarized zone. Now, for me, with Harp, the biggest thing was to not be too prepared and to be the most horrible physical Marine you could possibly see. Like, I didn't want him to be able to hold a gun well. I didn't want him to look cool running. I wanted him to have a stitch when he was running, because this is a guy that sits on a chair all day eating gummy bears, you know? So to go from that guy to the end, when he's holding those incendiary rounds above the amazing Anthony Mackie, looking him dead in his eyes and saying, humans could do better. That is the greater good. It's the most epic arc ever I've ever seen in an action movie, and it was wonderful for me to be able to live through that.
So would you say what you just said there is what you think, though, as a whole, the movie is trying to say, that humans can do better and that we can't forget about humanity with all this tech coming out kind of thing?
That is the through line. And, 2036, it was like 15 years in the future, right? If you look at the route we're going with it technologically, it's brilliant. People are able to do what we're doing now. Usually we'd be sitting in a room or sitting somewhere and interviewing, but I'm able to be in LA and you're where you are and we're talking to each other. Those are things to marvel at. But I think when you talk about some of the stuff that happens in Outside the Wire, the fear is that is around the corner. And
right.
Warfare from far, far away and having no emotion to people's lives that you're impacting in such a horrific manner, that's something to take a pause on. So I think this movie comments on that, comments on the casualties of war, comments on doing the right thing rather than doing what you're told, and comments on our relationship with technology going forward.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's what I loved about the film.
Right now, but I don't understand why I couldn't get tech.
No, it happens, and yeah, I agree with you, man. Because like, just the film, what I loved about it was so clear on what it was trying to say, and it had a set top to get to at the end with your character, and it was awesome that your character was the one we kind of saw the lens of the whole film through. Now, you mentioned the other character, Captain Leo, played by Anthony Mackie. I thought you guys had great chemistry to the point where it kind of almost felt like a buddy cop film at some points. So did you guys click right away? And was there something you could take away from learning from working with Anthony Mackie?
Mackie always says the reason why he wanted to make this movie was because it reminded him of Training Day, Denzel.
Okay.
And that's why I wanted to do it. I love playing characters that are playing catch-up, characters who overcome adversity at the end, and characters who, of course, have an arc and have something to say. With regards to clicking straight away, hell yeah. I met Mackie. I met him through a friend in LA at a private function, and he was great then. But then when we went to Budapest, we knew we'd be working with each other. We had dinner, and the way this guy was teasing me in front of everyone, teasing me in front of the producers, teasing me in front of, teasing my outfit. I was like, he reminded me of my big brothers and sisters. So that was the rapport and chemistry throughout the whole movie. Constantly laughing, constantly making jokes. we stayed at the Four Seasons, but downstairs there was this little bar called the Bob, and we'd go every single night and just laugh. And he'd tell me stories about Hollywood, and all of that experience in those moments were translated onto the screen.
See, that's really cool, and it's like got to be surreal being like near this superstar you're acting with, and you guys are just killing it
He
together.
can't go anywhere. He can't go anywhere.
No, yeah,
I know you. I know you, Falcon. I know you. I'm like,
but
hey,
see,
what about Snowfall, Franklin?
okay, so but what you're saying there about Falcon, like being around like an actual superhero, like for you, is there a dream superhero you would want to play, or anyone in that kind of canon in your
Wow,
future?
I'd love to work in that universe. Whether
Yeah.
it's a specific person, I don't know. I think that the beauty of those roles are when the fans choose who we should be. I love that. I love when people put up like little pictures and they put a superhero near my face, and I don't know who that superhero is, and I find out what their power is and stuff. And I think that's interesting. That's more of a build-up and more exciting for a universe that's so established and that is so dictated by its loyal fan base. I think it's important to give them as much power as possible with regards to the people that should play the parts.
I love that. I totally agree. And it's interesting because I feel like this film had things that you would kind of see in superhero movies, like some of these robotic villains that are like Gumps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know watching because it looks so good, but were those real robots or was that all CGI?
It was all CGI. The great thing about those Gumps, man, because it wasn't on the page, but I spoke to Mikkel on special effects and CGI, and I said, hey, I'd love to interact with these Gumps every now and then. I want to bump into one by accident, apologize. I want to say hello. I want to, and I think that's what brought them to life more, because on the day it's literally a pole with a tennis ball at the top.
Right.
So as an actor, you're having to ask, okay, how wide is this thing? Okay, show me a picture. All right, how tall is it? You know, if I was to bump into it, what part of it am I bumping into? Is it the torso? Is it the arm? And that was what brought them to life for me. I also admired the difference between the American Gumps and the Insurgents Gumps. There was a clear difference there. But just going forward, man, it's only made me respect that piece of art form even more.
Is there anything though, when you're mentioning like actually like looking at a tennis ball on a string, is there like anything actually easier about green screen or like blue screen acting?
Yeah, there's no limits.
Right.
And the funny thing is I was petrified because I'm used to playing these small characters in these really intricate locations, small scenes, and to go to something this large scale and to truly be my most childlike self, it was amazing. I was able to tap into my imagination. And what you don't realize is, yes, although there's a clear thing that you're looking at and what special effects hopes to put on the screen, that thing is also reacting to you. And they have all of the power in post to make it as tall or as short or as wide or as movie as it is, comparing on how you reacted to it. And I think that's what they did in Outside the Wire. We were able to add stuff in ADR. There's a scene after we first are introduced to Emily Beecham's character, and we're walking into her office and there's a Gump standing guard. On the day I looked at it and walked right past, but in ADR, I was like, hey, it would be hilarious if I was like, hello. And it made it into the movie, you know?
Oh, that's awesome.
There's no limitations when you're working with these things, and that's the beauty about it.
Yeah, and what you just mentioned too, that like childlike joy of like the green screen. Speaking of that, what is that sweater you're wearing?
It's Burberry.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, Pikachu.
All right, well, Damson, I had so much fun talking to you. Is there anything else you want to plug besides Outside the Wire?
Well, I'm obviously very excited for people to see this movie, and I can't wait for people to tap into season 4 of Snowfall on FX and Hulu on February 24th.
Yeah, can't wait for that as well. Everybody, make sure to check out Outside the Wire if you haven't watched it. If you haven't watched it already, watch it again. Again, thank you so much, Damson, for joining me, and I hope to talk to you again one day in the future.
Bless you. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you.